Raise him up. Raise him up. Take him over to Randy's office. You talk him into that. Put him down on the cardboard. Put him down up top of the shelf.
That was a good idea. That shit was a terrible idea. I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was gonna fall. I was gonna fall. It's late. You can't put it.
What is up, guys? Back with another video. It is 5:40 a.m. on a Friday. 44 degrees outside. What is up, guys? Back with another video. I look like I just rolled out of bed. I got the Porsche sweatshirt on, ready to roll, baby. Brand new day. 45 degrees. It is a little bit chilly out here. We got it in sport. We're already about 30 minutes from the house. And we're ready to roll, baby. New day. I saw Bitcoin just bounced off at like 91, creeping back up to 94. All right, guys, I gotta disclose something. I sold a little bit of crypto. I never showed you guys how much crypto I have, but I sold a little bit of crypto. I know it was a bad move because everything was down. It's just that I've gotten clarity on what I want my goal to be. So I want my goal to be having my expenses covered by passive income. So I know the best, quickest way would be to chase the high-flying stuff. It's just that I don't want to lose any money right now. I still have crypto. It's not like I don't have crypto. I just had a little too much of it. So this is what I got going on. I've got, first off, thanks for everybody who's watching and subscribed. Now I've been talking about investing like every day. I got to get back to the Porsche or maybe e-commerce and some other stuff, but let me know what you guys want to talk about. Also, start a little debate in the comments. I want to know the dividend investing people versus the crypto people versus the, you know, what do you, real estate? Like, leave a comment. What do you like to invest in and why? That's what, because I'm putting myself out there. You guys are, you know, you can listen to what I'm saying and hate on everything I'm talking about, but just leave some comments. So, because I like to get ideas, I like to learn. You know, a guy left a comment saying that quantum will not disrupt the drug discovery process or barely at all, or a lot less than I think. He could be right. He probably is right. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys, like, say what you think and feel, because I'd like to know, because if we talk about all this stuff, we can all learn things. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about what I'm into and my little bit of information I've accumulated. But okay, so I don't know if nobody ever talks about this, but do you guys realize, like, when you lose money, okay, you know, like, let's say you lose 50%. Do you know what percentage you have to get following the loss of the 50% to get back to square one? Buffett talked about this before. That's why he says, rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Like, for example, you have $10, okay? If your $10 drops by 50%, you now have $5. But what percentage of your new principal, $5, would you need to get in the market to get back to 10? You'd have to get 100% of your $5 to get another 5 to get back to 10. Do you know what I mean? So people don't realize, like, you can go so far back so quick by losing money. You really can. So I like to play in the Hail Marys. I've got my quantum. I've got my crypto. But I like to have my core in something that's a little more stable and has a lot less drawdown. If you guys aren't familiar with drawdown, that's the amount the account goes down in negative times, in crashes, in winters. I'm done with the monsters. I can feel a pain in my tooth. I'm going to Starbucks and I'm getting coffee, baby. So for me, I like SCHD. There's other ones I like, dividending. like dividend funds. There's other ones, but for value, SCHD, I like it. It used to be the superstar, and then the past like 2 years it hasn't been that great. But its dividend has. That's the thing I'm concerned about. Its dividend has continued to grow. The dividend's the superstar.
Can I get started for you?
Hi, can I have a grande pike place with cream and 3 stevia?
Grande pipe with cream and 3 stevia?
Yep, and a cup of water, please.
Yeah, that's good, man.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. I'll see you at the window, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Some Starbucks people just make you feel right at home, don't they? He's like, let's do it, man. I'll see you at the window, bud. Makes me feel safe. Get my coffee, get on the road. Brand new day. What is up? We have to get focused on the goal so we're not just wandering around in the wilderness chasing the next shiny object, because that's so easy to do. Another thing I want to talk about is reversion to the mean, and not a lot of people talk about it. That's a way people invest sometimes. Hold on one second, put the phone down. So I was gonna say, like, the whole goal for me in stocks, I know in crypto. Oh, shout out to the guy who asked the question about the $150,000 car. Dude, you're doing good. Real good. Way better than... That's like Conor McGregor when he was fighting Mayweather. He said to Floyd Mayweather, he said, when you were my age, you were fighting on Oscar De La Hoya's undercard. You know, it's like sometimes you guys got to compare apples to apples. Like, you might be like 22 or 24 or 21 and might be like, oh, I'm so far behind. But maybe if you compared me at 21 to you at 21, you're like, I'm crushing this dude. You know what I mean? You'd be crushing me. Oh, my shipping containers are gone. I can't go back and take pictures anymore in front of them. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, you got to compare age-wise. You know what I mean? Even think about even your father. Like, compare it to your father. What was your father doing at your age? He might be giving you all this advice. It's like, all right, Dad, let me see. What were you doing at 21? Where were you? You know what I mean? I don't know, though. The old generations were different. He probably had a briefcase and a mustache and a full family. You know what I mean? And a station wagon and a house with a mortgage. But times were different. What I'm getting at, though, is that for me, I get way off topic quick, don't I? I want to, with my stock and my dividend account, I want to beat the S&P 500. And that's the whole thing. It's like, that's what everybody, they don't say that, but that's what they're all trying to do. You're trying to beat the market over the long term, which is like been proven to be impossible. And people say the S&P 500, they call it the market, you know, but that's just become over time like the term. It's not, I guess it's not really the market, but the S&P 500 has become the market, the benchmark for stocks. Get my coffee, walk around this car. I gotta be honest, the coffee's so much better than the Monster. What do you guys think? Do you like the 911? Soon we're gonna have the 9932. Somebody left a comment. They said 992. I watched the video for the 992, so make sure you don't stop filming the 992. I'm still gonna be daily driving the 992. I'm probably just gonna take the 993 out every so often. You know what I mean? And film it at home a lot and stuff like that. But no, back to the guy who left the comment about the $150,000. He's like, I have 100 comments because it's fun to talk about you guys on the channel. Hopefully you don't care. You know, hopefully you're like, why'd you bring it up? I just asked the question. Why are you talking about me on the channel? I'm never going to mention names or anything, you know. But no, he said, when would you buy your dream car or your, you know what? God, for a second I thought I didn't put it in park because when I got out it rolled a little because that park brake wasn't on. It was just the transmission in park, like the pin. Imagine if it rolled down that little hill into that ditch. That would suck. It looks like it, doesn't it? How it's on the grass a little. No, but he's like, when would you buy your dream car after you have the money? And I said at 24, I was like, I don't know. It's a hard decision because I bought a car, you know, so I can't give advice to not do it because it's like probably the most fun time of your life to have a freaking supercar or have your dream car is when you're in your 20s. It'd be amazing, you know. But I said I'd probably just like the boring version of me now as like an adult. I said I'd probably just invest it all because at 24 it's like the time value of that money compounding is worth so much. But he said because I assumed he just had that money and not much, but he's like, no, dude, I got 500 or I got $500,000 in crypto. I'm like, geez, dude, you're 24, you're freaking, most men don't have $500,000 invested somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, so you're doing really good. He said he owned a tire shop in Canada, a wheel and tire shop, but you're doing amazing. You know what I mean? So just keep going. Maybe just, I don't know. At the same time, it's like having the car might motivate you every day and just be fun. I know I keep saying all this like smart advice like a dad would give their kid, but maybe just get the freaking car. You know what I mean? Just get the car. You got that cash, but maybe diversify a little bit. I can't say diversify out of the crypto because these people are winning with everything, you know? And we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. Like Larry Fink's trying to tokenize the stock market. So maybe me buying SCHD, I'm going to be the slow turtle that's left behind, and I'm buying the past and he's buying the future. You know, we don't really know. We all just are saying, like, for example, did you know on Cosmos right now, Cosmos is a cryptocurrency, if you guys aren't familiar, Atom, you can stake Atom and earn 15% yield. But I'm like, I have PTSD because I staked and earned, I was in the earn program on Celsius. I was earning like 30 grand a year off like 130,000 in Celsius, and then my money got locked up because it was a Ponzi scheme. So it's like, the other thing about staking that scares me, I want to stake. Like Polkadot, you can stake and get 6%. Polkadot's like a real project. You know what I mean? And the issue is that you have a third-party validator a lot of the times when you stake. So staking is like locking up your crypto, and you can't get it back for like Polkadot, for example, is 30 days. After you unstake, you have to wait 30 days. The issue is that, and if you guys don't know what staking is like when you lock up your cryptocurrency on the network to stabilize the network. Like you basically, I guess, like stake, I guess you become like, you help them like form a node, like the end, like part of the network, the blockchain. I don't know. I don't know all about it. But what I'm saying is I have PTSD because I staked basically and I lost it. And I only got 72,000 back. They gave me 1 Bitcoin back when it was worth 72,000. And at the time I had 2 Bitcoin, 20 Ethereum. I had all when I say I lost 130,000, I really lost like 400 because by the time the lawsuit was like finalized, that account was like 430 or something. It was crazy. So that's why I'm like, I have PTSD. You know what I mean? From losing that money staking. So another thing that can happen is because you're using a third-party validator, the validator can not be a good validator on the network. Like Google this. They can like literally be penalized, and then whoever you staked your coins with, if they penalize that validator, you can lose everything that's staked. Until this stuff gets like really hashed out, I don't know, I'm a little fearful of it. But anybody that does stake and they're doing good with it, let me know. I was thinking about staking a little bit for fun, like just staking a small amount, just to see what happened. So what I'm saying is, I like to have my core holdings in something that I feel safe. That I'm not like, all right, if I die tomorrow, my wife has to go through a freaking owner's manual to figure out how to unstake these coins, swap them back from Uniswap. You know what I mean? Get them back, transfer them from Trust Wallet to Coinbase, and you know what I mean? Use an authenticator app that I have on a phone that's not online. She's got to get the ledger, got the nano ledger offline, cold storage. You know, like, it's getting a little complicated. At one point, I had a Bitcoin paper wallet. If you guys aren't familiar with those, look those up. You just print out the paper wallet, you just scan it, and your Bitcoin's just on the blockchain. So all this talk about crypto and stuff, I did the math, and I've got about 20% of my money in cryptocurrency, and I have about 20% of my money in quantum. So I had to get in the car, dude. It's freezing outside. It's 46 degrees. For me, that's cold. I know you guys are probably laughing because it's like winter up north. But so what I'm saying is that's a lot. That I'm acting like I'm low risk talking about SCHD. That's pretty risky portfolio. You know what I mean? Quantum and crypto is 40% of your portfolio. So I want to get back. Yesterday I was talking about clarity of your goal, figuring out what you want to do. And then when you have the clarity, then you can kind of really dial it in and chase it. And then you can look at the progress. You can see every day, you can see it growing. So what I want to do is I did yesterday. I sold a little bit of the crypto off. That actually put me at 20%. I probably had like 40% just in crypto at one point. So I've got some cash, and what I'm going to do is I'm getting back to my strategy of SCHD and VGT. And you guys might be like, what? What's he talking about? So the reason I like SCHD and VGT is that they only have a 6% overlap. If you guys aren't familiar with fund overlap, you can go to just Google like ETF fund overlap. See, like I see a lot of people online, they are like, I buy VUG and I buy MGK and I buy VOO. But if you were to put those 3 ETFs in the fund overlap, you'll see like they overlap like 50%, 60%. You know, like it's pointless owning them. There's no like difference between them. You want non-correlating assets. Like, for example, like SCHD is all value, VGT is growth. So there's also SCHG, which is Charles Schwab's growth, which has 0 overlap with SCHD. VGT has about 6% overlap. Check out the little RV trailer. Wonder if he's sleeping in it. Just traveling around. So VGT has 6% overlap, but the reason I don't want SCHG and SCHD is that it's kind of like having like ETF fund risk, because all your ETFs are with the same company. If something happened to Charles Schwab or something, you know, like when that Silicon Valley Bank stuff was going down, Charles Schwab's stock like tanked, and people were saying they might go under. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to have partially with Charles Schwab and partially with Vanguard, so just a little bit less risk. So the reason I like the two is, like I said, what if I'm buying the past with SCHD? SCHD's value, basically. It does have tech. One of the things I love about SCHD is that if you look at its diversification, they don't really have anything over 20% in one sector, which is nice. Financials creeped up a little bit because they just creeped up a little bit. They were like almost at 20, I think. But nothing's over 20% in one sector, which is really great, so it's balanced. But you do still have exposure to tech, which is nice. They have Texas Instruments and some other ones, I can't remember. Healthcare. The only thing, SCHD doesn't hold any real estate, but that makes its dividend yield 100% qualified. So SCHD Superstar is the dividend. So it's grown at 11%. And last year they grew it at 12.24%, the dividend income. So if you guys are retired or something and you're looking for something that's going to grow and keep your purchasing power against inflation, I'm not saying to get SCHD if you're retired, but I'm just saying that that's one of the reasons I like it, is income growth. But one of the downsides of it is that, am I missing out on all the new futuristic stuff that's going on with semiconductors and, you know, all kinds of stuff, data centers, quantum, online advertising and marketing? There's so much stuff. Financials, fintech, M2 Freightliner. I used to work on these. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to go chasing the next shiny object. Oh, I had mentioned reversion to the mean, and then I started jumping around. So reversion to the mean, that's a very good way. You want to know the ways you're not going to beat the market, the ways you're not going to beat the S&P 500? One of them, and I'm talking about not 1 year, like you're like, dude, I beat the S&P 500 this year, and then I beat it 2 years ago, I beat it, like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consistently. You're either hitting the benchmark of the stock market or beating it. I know Bitcoin has actually beaten it for 5 years in a row when you zoom out. Maybe not every single year, because it's had years where it could be on an annual basis, but I think its ARR, annual rate of return, has been 60% the past 5 years, which is pretty wild. But I think that's because it's the formation of a new asset class. A lot of things, like those things you couldn't have predicted, because it's not like it's producing income and you could like actually measure it. Do you get what I'm saying? There were a lot of catalysts that pushed it to that, which there's going to be more, I think. But at the end of the day, I know nobody likes to really say it, but at the end of the day, we're all just speculating and gambling with all this stuff, you know? Look at this, is a JCPenney. This thing is good. That's a Porsche Cayenne making that noise. This thing is going to be out of business soon. Look at this. Who is coming to J.C. Penney to buy pantyhose? So ways you're not going to beat the S&P 500 is chasing the next shiny meme coin. You might have a win. You can do that. You can do what I call spray and pray. You can spray and pray. But I'm talking about not losing my money and creating an income and a solid foundation for my family. So my wife doesn't wake up and she's like, all the flocky went to zero. All the flocky went to zero. Yeah, maybe I'll have some flocky. Maybe I'll have a little lucky. You guys know about lucky? I lost my on lucky. Shout out to Steve, my brother. He's still holding lucky, I think. He doesn't like to sell it. He's got lucky, S-Dog, Keyshoe. We had so many. That's kind of a cool shot. So what I'm saying is, make sure you have a solid foundation, because another way you're gonna not beat the S&P or the benchmark and lose money over the long term is chasing those shiny objects. You know why? Because of reversion to the mean. Because you're chasing most of yesterday's winners are today's losers, and that's a fact. That is a fact. Most of yesterday's winners are today's losers. The way that I had those gains in quantum, I did not buy it after the chart went like this and went way up and then back down. I bought it when it was flat and it had never gone up yet. That's what I'm looking for on my gambles. I'm looking for on my gambles ones that have never peaked, ones that have always that are new, low market caps, in a growth path, and possibly going to be something used in the future. Those are my gambles. But my core holdings are SCHD and VGT. And the reason is I want the value from SCHD and I want the value floor. The worst year over the past 10 years for SCHD was negative 5.56%, I want to say. And I want to say the S&P 500, it was negative 32%. So the drawdown on SCHD, because of its quality stocks and its criteria of the certain stocks that it holds, it has low drawdown, low beta compared to the market, lower than the market. I want to say SCHD's beta is 0.81 and the market's 1, because it's the standard, it's the benchmark. There's only one downside for me adding VGT, being an income investor and wanting income, and that's that it's going to lower my yield. If I did 50% SCHD, 50% VGT, my yield's going to be lower, a lot lower than 3-point-something% that if you have just SCHD. But SCHD and VGT together still has a good dividend growth rate. So it won't take that many years for the dividend to actually reach a decent number that would equal me investing in real estate. Like maybe like a 6%. I'm talking about single family real estate. I know I'm not talking about the internal rate of return of like depreciating the property, the appreciation and the cash flow. I'm talking about just the cash flow, strictly the cash flow. Dude, I like this picture. I like this angle. Isn't that nice looking? That looks good right there, doesn't it? Man, cars look cool when you take them into, maybe that's why the shipping containers did good, because it's got that industrial look. I'm going to turn the phone this way and take a picture. Maybe I'll make a story. Sorry, I know you're watching. I'm just making a story, or like a picture for the story. So I know I keep repeating the same stuff. What I like about the dividend investing strategy is that you can wake up each day, okay, and you can go on like Simply Safe Dividends, or you can log into your stock account and you can look at your dividend income and you can see it increase every day. And if you have something like SCHD that's producing your yield, you're not really going to see it decrease. You're only going to see it progress. It's going to go up. So what I'm going to do is the reason I'm talking about this is that I'm going to invest in, I'm going to take the cash I sold off on the other things and I'm going to allocate it to the amount I want in VGT and SCHD, like I said. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys inside my Simply Safe dividends. We'll see how much yield I have. We'll see how much income it's gonna produce. I'm gonna show you my whole portfolio of stocks. And then every single, maybe every day or like once a week or once a month, I wanna show, I'm just taking you guys along my journey. So my goal, I'm putting on the screen, my goal is I want $200,000 each. So, all right, I'm gonna be full transparent with you guys. I need about $20,000 a month in after-tax income to like sustain my lifestyle. Like my mortgage, I don't have car payments. All the cars are paid for, even the golf cart. All I have is like, I have insurance, cell phone bill. I have all my kids' activities. They're expensive, dude. Like gymnastics, all those things are expensive. I have Comcast, or like internet. What else do I have? Oh, groceries. We've got, and then I factor in like clothing for like the kids and stuff. I've been wearing freaking pajamas every day, like sweatpants and hoodies. Volkswagen with a front mount intercooler. Those are some of those produce a lot of boost. Porsche Panamera, F-type Jaguar. I don't know, that's not an F-type, whatever it is. So yeah, when I add it all up, my main expense is my mortgage and my property taxes. My mortgage is crazy expensive, guys. I don't even know if I want to tell you, I'm embarrassed. My mortgage is $8,000 a month with a 2.75% interest rate, right? That is insane, isn't it? But it was a good move, and I'll tell you why. So we were living in Northport, Florida, and COVID was like just about to happen. And they're like, we're going to start printing money. They started giving out the stimulus checks, and they were printing money like crazy. And everybody was talking about inflation, inflation, inflation. And I had learned so much about real estate and debt and inflation and interest rates over the years that I knew that debt was an asset in inflationary times. So like when the inflation's starting to take off, not when they're fighting it with raising rates. That's when it's not a good time. So I was like, oh my gosh, we should get this house. I had money saved up for the down payment. I actually had like almost $600,000 saved. This is when I was grinding, hustling. I don't think you guys understand. Right now, all I've got is my stock account, and I'm just day to day trying to keep the business to pay these bills and cover these expenses. That's why I need to get my income, I need to get my passive income up, and I need to stop chasing. When you're in my situation, I can chase these shiny objects and fly-by-night things, but you can lose it all like in a casino so quick. You need to make sure you have a solid foundation of income coming in. I can't be chasing, how many shiny objects am I gonna chase? You know what I mean? There's too many. Every day it's a new one. One day it's this, one day it's that. Next thing it's quantum. I'm sticking with the quantum though, because I think the quantum can get me to the point where I can get to some type of a little bit breathing room over time, over years. We'll see. I just feel like the market caps are still low, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of good news or hype news in the future. I'm not saying that these companies are going to produce a ton of money and they're going to be like behemoth companies like Nvidia. I'm just saying, based on their market cap and any kind of small breakthrough, it's going to double the market cap. I already know it will. It will. Oh, the Volkswagen's in front of me. I'm in normal mode. I'm not in sport. He's crackling. He is crackling. Snap, crackle, pop. So, it sounds cool. He's probably got a big turbo on there. So do you guys understand? $20,000 a month. I really would like $24,000. But when I say $20,000 a month, I'm talking about that's me sustaining my lifestyle as like my mortgage, like shopping at like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, getting quality food, buying clothes every so often, like for buying clothes for our kids, but buying clothes like for ourselves, or taking a trip once a year to like a nice place. You know what I mean? Like that $20,000, that's a lot, right? But some people might say that's nothing. I've watched videos of guys like, oh, some kid was like a single guy without kids. Like I'm about to have 4 kids. So that's a lot, it adds up quick. But I already I've saved money for their college, things like that. So I've done my baseline things. I've been hustling, dude. You have no idea. All I do is think about this. This is all I've been thinking about and doing for 20 years, every day. You know what I mean? And that kid, he's 24. He's got more than I do invested. So what I'm saying is, that he's doing good, man. The kid, when he wrote that, I thought, damn, we gotta step it up. So I am focused on this new goal, and I'm taking you guys along for the journey, and we're gonna watch every day. You're gonna be with me for the next 20 years until I hit the number. It's gonna take me probably 20 years to hit that number. How in the world could I get $20,000 a month in income from SCHD? There's no way. It seems impossible, which it is. The quicker way would be real estate. I just don't feel like setting up. I don't know if it's like I'm gotten lazy or complacent. I just don't know if I want to jump right back into that. My buddy at the gym, Judd, shout out to Judd, he's building a 100-unit apartment complex. It's his first multifamily. And like we were talking about it, like economy of scale. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like instead of he had single families, he had like 100 or something. So I had 6. So like economy of scale would be like instead of 6 insurance policies, 6 roofs to repair, 6 AC units. Economy of scale is everything's on 1 unit, you know? So you save a lot of money. Also with apartment complexes, you can do what's called accelerated depreciation. You can depreciate items, like you can depreciate the stoves and all the units and things like that, but I won't get into all that. If you guys want to learn about that kind of stuff, check out Ken McElroy. He's a good source for that. Ken McElroy. He's a big multifamily person, and I used to like his content back when I was obsessed with real estate. So I just don't feel like setting up all this stuff. I still have everything. I still have 3 LLCs. I still have the PO box. I've got this new goal, and I'm taking you guys along for the journey, and every day or every week I'm going to show you the increase in the dividend income. And who knows, maybe I'll flip and say this sucks, this isn't worth it. I'm just going all in on quantum. I'm just Hail Mary. I'm going to see what happens. But I don't want to do that. I want to set up a solid foundation. And back to the real estate, I don't really feel like setting up all this stuff again with real estate, mainly too because if something happens to me, I want my wife and kids to be able to easily manage it. At the end of the year, I don't want her like having to figure out what in the world do I got to do with this profit and loss for all these properties, and you know what I mean. And then commercial debt, like 5 years with a balloon. She's like, the debt's coming due and the rates could be high. Check out the Volkswagen wagon. He had the Bilstein sticker on the side. Probably got it lowered. I don't want to deal with all that. I think it's pretty cool. I'm putting this guy on the channel. It's cool. Can't see him, too much tint. Ooh. Snack, crackle, pop. I got a little crackle. People are headed to work. We're out here playing around. We got to get to work too. I'm heading to the gym. Doing back today. Do push-pull legs. I'm doing pull. So leave comments, guys. I want comments today in the thing. What do you guys like? Like, leave a comment. SCHD's dead. What are you doing, bro? Dumb move. Or go to Portfolio Visualizer just for fun and backtest 50-50 SCHD and VGT. Here's the thing though, I want that income now. I got to build the income stream up, so I don't want to go too heavy on VGT, but I do want to have exposure to the small and mid-cap tech. See, that's the thing, SCHG and QQQM, they don't have, I like those, they have Amazon in them. They don't have as much exposure to mid and small cap tech like VGT. That's why I like VGT. But the only downside of VGT is that like 40% of the portfolio is Apple and Microsoft. They're like the top 2 holdings. So that's probably why it did good over the past 10 years. So who knows what it'll do in the future. But I am putting a little VGT in the account, and I'm doing a big chunky SCHD for income. The rest is quantum and crypto, and we'll track the yield. It's going to be a very low yield. See, in the account, if I don't delete, in Simply Safe Dividends, if I don't delete all the quantum and I don't delete the everything else that doesn't produce a dividend to show just the SCHD dividend, it's going to take the average of across all the money, and it's going to say the yield is really low. Like, it might say the yield is like 1.1% or something. But we're going to be able to look at the income number. I'm not even looking at the yield or yield on cost. We're going to look at the income number, and our goal is every day to increase the income number, even if it just goes up by $5. The goal is to make the income go up every single day. 993 update. I'm going to get insurance on it today. Not the car collector insurance, just regular insurance. And then I got to figure out the car collector insurance. But I need to, oh, I talked to a guy in the gym. This guy's like big time real estate guy. My buddy was telling me that he's like, oh no, he's like, you have no idea. He's like, he's got 40,000 doors. I was like, what? And he's got like 9 or 10 Porsches. He got GT2 RSs. He's got all kinds of cars, guys. He's got the Sport Heritage Edition. He has, here's a 911. Yeah, baby, putting you on the channel. I don't know. That guy doesn't look like he wants to be on the channel, but no, so I was talking to him and I asked him who he uses, and he says he uses Grundy for his whole collection. So I was gonna look that up. He apparently has a black Ferrari Enzo. Look who I found, guys. Look who I found. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.